Okay, everybody. Well, happy Thursday. Happy holiday season. Happy whatever you're doing. And thank you for joining us at the virtual events group. So while you're all thinking about vacations, we've been thinking a lot about work. Um, and um, and how much work has changed since we've come back to it in one form or another, and how much it will continue to change as we head into the new year. So I'm getting some feedback here. So anyhow, let me give you a quick look at today's agenda, which is kind of interesting and fun. I'm gonna take you through a look of the way I see work today and some of the issues I'm seeing, and then I'm going to introduce you to Tracy Judge, who's going to give you a deeper dive into the events industry, which is really a microcosm of the rest of the industry, and what is going on in the freelance economy there, and how, well, first of all, how she built a whole company on the change in the workforce that we're seeing. So it's a perfect um, we complement each other well. And then you're going to get to meet Chris Bent, and Chris is going to give us all a holiday gift by letting us draw together. So with that, I'm going to roll out my laundry list, but I'm going to ask you to chime in and ask you about yours. So to home or not to home? That is the question. So if you look on the left side of my screen, I just listed, what do you get when you stay home? You get increased flexibility. You get increased work-life balance. You get less stress, theoretically. You get an elimination of commuting time, enhanced productivity, access to a global talent pool, which is huge, a reduced carbon footprint, which is also huge, and a comfortable personal space to work. Are we in some agreement there? Anybody have something I left out? Oh, Bill's saying he's at home right now. I'm going to ask people. Everybody's at home. And let me, on the flip side, that's I'm seeing a lot of homes. Hi, Alice from home. Hi, Tracy. Oh, wait, Tracy wins. Tracy, you're working from Mexico? Yeah. Okay. Yes, at home. Okay. Oh, and a hotel in San Jose. Oh, wow, it just gets better and better. So on the flip side, what are the benefits of the workplace? And I think every workplace is asking themselves that question now. It is an opportunity for collaboration and brainstorming. It is a better separation of work and personal life, because they're separate spaces. Improve communications, access to special office equipment, including better studios, not like the one I'm using here from home. Enhanced work supervision, enhanced professional networking opportunities, a potential for faster decision-making without a lot of email chains, and you want to get out of the meeting, you're going to make a decision, and a stronger sense of belonging and cohesion. And I think we have a generation coming back to work now that has lost some of that for the past couple of years and is really searching deep to see how they feel about that. And so if anybody wants to just expand on that or something they've seen that I've missed, I think it's the one of the most important topics we'll deal with this coming year. So I'm going to move on to some of the underlying things that I think. I'm going to be I'm going to get a little cray-cray for a minute here, but first the data. So this comes from work from home research. The pandemic definitely changed things. So if you take a look, life was just going merrily along. We had this pandemic and everybody worked at home. And now we are back to something that is really increased compared to pre-pandemic in-office levels. They didn't phrase this exactly perfectly, but the idea is, and I'll show you in this next slide, that we are, by October 23, 12% of us are full-time employees who are fully remote, 58% are on site, and 30% are in some sort of hybrid arrangement. And I think that pretty much dovetails what I'm seeing, and I hope with what you're seeing. Alfred just put in the chat that working in an office is certainly better data security for sure, but um, so let me tell you some of the reasons, some of the things I think will happen because of all of this, or in part because of all of this. One is the rise of the creator economy. Some of you on the call know I'm pretty bullish about this. Goldman Sachs is predicting 50 million people around the world now work as creators, and that this is going to jump. Alfred Poor, who's on this call, was kind enough to do the math for me and said, you know what? $250 billion a year divided by that many creators isn't so great as you think. Am I getting that right, Alfred? So like, don't get all too excited about it yet, because clearly the creator market is dominated by a very successful 1%, the Mr. Beasts and iJustines, and the others are few and far between. On the other hand, you are seeing this ecosystem of creator enablement maturing really quickly. And by that, I mean platforms for creators, aggregate of platforms for creators, talent, courses, agents, new equipment, new AI tools. So you're seeing an ecosystem that I think is going to really change the work economy in the next, I'm going for a year, but you can fight me. Coupled and close to the creator economy is the gig economy. And the gig economy, sort of same but different, but people who participate in the economy in some way, and you know, like even the labor statistics people can't quite figure this out yet. And, you know, everybody from your Uber, Lyft, and DoorDashes to your plumbers and electricians, a lot of people are just leaving the corporate workforce and putting up the independent shingle for a number of reasons. And I'm going to say, and I'm going, I actually showed this slide to my husband a little earlier, who said, are you crazy? But I'm going to be crazy for a minute and say the rise of the AI economy is going to start to be felt this year. And I was pretty outrageous here. I said that you really could have a company of two with AI assistants doing the rest of the work, and jobs will disappear. And so the one that came to my mind is stenographer. I mean, I remember sitting in my dad's office as a kid. And first, somebody would come in and take dictation, and then somebody would take the shorthand in the courtroom. And those jobs are, well, the courtroom's still there, but stenographer is kind of gone. Desktop publishers, typists, they've all changed a lot. Bank tellers changed a lot. And not in the ways you would think. Bank tellers are actually really interesting because we thought ATMs would get rid of bank teller jobs, but instead they dispersed them all over the country. More branches open when there were ATMs, hence there were more tellers in more places rather than concentrated. So it's really interesting to see what's going to happen, but I do believe AI, whether you're writing an RFP or whether you're designing an agenda or whether you're coming up with your budget, I think that you are going to need a little less help than you did before, and you're going to save enormous amounts of time, and that is going to affect the labor force. And my message to anybody who has a labor force is let them start working with AI 20 minutes every day, mandatory, so that they have the skills to move into this world. If AI could just be your thinker. No, it's never going to be your thinker, right, Chris? But it is going to be your thinking assistant. And that used to be a lot of different people. And this is my very funny one, because right now I'm in this OBS thing and my head is on Anne Hathaway's body. So I'll switch for a minute. How do I look as Anne Hathaway? But let me go to that. So there is a generational component that we cannot underestimate also. And that is more people of different ages are in this workplace than have ever been before. And yet, in part because of the pandemic, there wasn't the transfer of knowledge that was typical to other generations. I learned from my mentors, sitting next to them, listening to them yell on the phones, listening to them close a deal. And I learned those really important skills. Older people are living longer, working longer, they're in the workforce. And I think that their job more and more should be the intelligence, the corporate intelligence that gets passed down in a very unified way. So those are some sort of, oh, and I got to talk about loneliness for a minute, because I think this is another issue that you're going to see come into play. 1 minute. Loneliness. It's a really big issue. We've all learned to work from home, and yet the Surgeon Generals and the UK says this is the greatest public health challenge of our time. Mount Sinai Hospital is attributing deaths to loneliness. So we have got to figure out, and yet, well, I'll get to this because it's really kind of amazing and represents another generational shift. Scott Galloway, who I think you all know and is terrific, came out and said, we all have less friends than we ever did before. And this is a serious problem, especially men who have less friends than anybody. And this is a serious problem and we should be paying attention. And the kids got on his case saying, we have friends, they're just not in real life. And you should get over yourself because it's changed and it's going to change forever. And so it gives us a chance to pause and think, do our friends have to be the ones sitting next to us? Are they ones who meet with us every month here on screen? Who are our friends? How do we value friendship? How do we value coworkers and camaraderie? And this is all going to really, really change. And with that, I'm just going to ask, is there anybody in the audience who has kind of one comment that they just want to respond to? Because I don't definitely have more questions than answers. Anybody?
Some of us don't want more friends.
That is true. There is a great place for extroverts and introverts in this life. And but
Some of us are really introverted, and even though I'm speaking out right now, I am truly a very introverted. There's a reason why I embraced the virtual world. It was because it was easy for me. And, I'm very comfortable with the environment that we're in right now. Not everybody is like that. I get, folks who I don't want to do a Zoom call, and they're reverting back to just old phone calls because, they don't want to meet in person and they don't want to do Zoom calls. And I'm like, I'm okay with that.
we're going to get you out of the house one day. But Alfred, I know you had something to say
I,
too.
I just wanted, I have a somewhat unpopular take on the gig economy in that we used to call it sharecropping. It's, to me, it's a financial arrangement where a central organization gets the labor of many individuals. Doesn't matter if some of them fail or not, because enough of them will succeed a little bit enough for them to get the pennies and aggregate all those pennies and make some big money. So I'm not as huge a fan of the gig economy writ large as some people might be.
Well, it's really interesting because I think you're going to see that working out too. There is going to come a shift where every tap we make, every swipe we make, every move we make has become part of a large language model somewhere, every word we utter. And I think we will figure out a way to be compensated for that. And I don't know how that's going to play out, but I do think it's looking way further down the road. But I think it's something every company should be thinking about, what they're doing with their own intelligence, and each one of us, what we're contributing for free, as we have been since the day Facebook was born, and as we continue to do to and we do reap benefits, but we don't reap financial benefits. So you're right, Alfred. Maybe, but um, I'm sort of, I barter more things than I used to, and I don't think the cash economy is necessarily it. But these are really good things to think about as we go into like the heavy consumer time of the year. But now I want to take this sort of big ideas that could apply to anything and look at the events business, because what Tracy Judge has done is really crafted a business that sits in between a changing world of work and the existing world of events and changing events. So Tracy, why don't you introduce yourself and sort of take it away?
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Pleasure meeting you. And thank you, Robin, for that introduction. And a lot of what you said, I really do believe in. And when you were talking about first, the ability to work remotely, I love that ability. Our freelancers love that ability and my team loves it, but it is hard at times. It's hard at times as well. And a funny story, I came to Mexico for a vacation for 1 week. I stayed for an additional week and worked from here, and then ended up renting a house here for 4 months. But why I did it was because of that loneliness. And I was like, I can't do this another year sitting in my house by myself. And my team and I get together sometimes, but it still is a very lonely feeling. So I decided to change my environment to be able to, keep going and keep the energy and stimulation that I have, and also, meet a lot of new people because I'm in a new place. So loneliness, I think, is a challenge for all of us, and finding ways to overcome that is super important from a mental health standpoint. And Alfred, to your point as well, I completely understand what you're saying about the gig economy and the history of freelancing in general. And that was actually why I had started Soundings. I come from the meeting and event side of the business. I was always on the agency side. And what I was looking at was organizations that were going to agencies, but they just needed an addition to their team. And also that freelancers were always behind the scenes, right? They were white labeled behind companies. So I saw an opportunity to solve everyone's problems and bring freelancers to the forefront of the industry and make it seen as an equal career path. So that's why we built Soundings. So we're focused on community and building a community and a place where freelancers can get everything that they love, everything they love about that a company has to offer, but have their independent freedom as well. So we really try to work with our customers. We try to create these solutions, benefits, things like that for the freelance economy, so that doesn't happen. But there is a lot of benefit into talent share, especially now when there's skill gaps in our industry. So which we'll go into more. But this is our mission statement, and we are at Soundings, we're really focused about creating professional freedom and making it accessible to all. And that means we have to work with our customers and our clients and organizations and help revolutionize the way that they're working with their talent. And we do this by offering agile talent solutions. So it isn't always freelance staff, but where we see a lot of success is when you're looking at a larger agile talent model. So we speak about the gig economy. Gig and freelance economy is quite different. If you call freelancers gig workers, it does not go over well. So, the gig workforce, we think more about short-term, less experienced work that needs to be done. Freelance is more long-term contracts, staff augmentation, specific skill sets. We also recruiting, right? Full-time hires. We help some of our clients with that as well. And, but also what we're seeing a lot more of is the contract to hire concept. So people are working as freelancers with a company. On both sides, they're getting to know each other, right? Like essentially, like they're dating for a while, and sometimes it works really well, and it makes sense for both parties for that person to go in-house as an employee as well. So there's all different benefits that can come from that. And sometimes, freelancers we're supporting in a way, and then they get a full-time job out of it. That is the right job for them. So agile staffing models, our customers leverage these because they help maximize profitability. They help magnify their products and services, because we're bringing different types of talent in that can offer different services and expand the line of services, especially on the agency side. And there's lots of statistics about burnout in the events industry, but it is really, really high, and it's continuing to increase. So by having access and knowing how to work with freelance talent, you're actually giving your teams relief. And even knowing that they can tap into that pool, even if they don't need to, helps give them relief and keep them at ease. So it helps organizations retain the talent that they have. So what we look to do is, when we're helping our customers, is solve for that talent shortages and skill gaps. And Robin presents a new technology probably every time I present with her, and there needs to be people that know how to use those technologies as well. So as we continue to innovate and technology and events continue to innovate, so does the need for new skill sets. So we're always working with customers and our talent to help them upskill and reskill and present new opportunities that there may be for them, and then connecting them for work. And then we spoke about recruitment and retention, and agility and business continuity is super important. One of the trends I'm seeing in the industry right now, especially on the meeting planning and production agency side, is there's a lot of layoffs happening that a lot of times are quieter, but there are layoffs happening, and it's a lot to do, a big part of it was what happened in tech, but there's, all industries were impacted. So when we built back up teams, people grabbed whoever they could, and we hired really, really fast, and in a way bloated the full-time workforce. And now, unfortunately, because of that, when business has gone down, tech has dropped a lot of their business, and with questionable recession looming, people are cutting down on their meeting spend. So really, the agile talent models for companies, it gives companies the ability to grow and expand without having to go on hiring spurts and then laying off, go on hiring spurts, then laying off. So here's just some data regarding this, but I like the one that 75% of employers can't find the right blend of technical skills and human strengths. And we're the events industry, the human strengths are so important. So that is one of the things we always look at is we do strength finders with all of our talent. What strengths do they bring to the table? And then what skill sets do they have? Because and then when we're working with our customers, we're looking at both of those things, because you can have the right skill set, but it doesn't mean you're going to work well with that company. Another thing here that's interesting is 48% of people are quitting their jobs, are going to different industries, which is not good for our industry. But the 24% of people who were polled that resigned said they were choosing to be independent, which means there are more people leaving full-time roles to go into the freelance workforce as well. And then especially for the events business, 77% of our talent in meetings and events is female. And there's a statistic after the pandemic that said 2/3 of women that left the workforce during that time said they would have stayed if they had more flexibility in their work. So if you think about events, it's super demanding, it's super stressful, and it is hard to manage. It is hard to manage life and family and everything you want for your life while being full-time at meetings and meeting staff. So this is why we think freelance is also really important, because especially with women or any caretaker, it allows more flexibility where you don't have to completely leave the workforce. You can stay in the workforce and work maybe the time of year you want to work, or or you can work a reduced hours to fit your schedule. So overall, the freelance workforce can solve a lot of the challenges that we have today. And if the events industry knows how to engage the freelance workforce. So that's one of the challenges we've seen over the years, is that if a company doesn't know how to work with freelance talent, likely it's not going to be a successful match. So a lot of what we do is work with our customers to help them understand how to be successful leveraging freelance talent. I love this quote from Seth Godin: "No organization ever created an innovation. People innovate, not companies." So we talk about a lot of different innovation and technologies and how we've innovated in the events business, but you rarely hear people talk about how we innovate, how we're going to innovate the way we work with talent. And that's why we're seeing what happened and seeing layoffs in the marketplace, in the industry right now, because everybody went back to live events the same way that we came down. And the reality is a lot has changed. People have changed. The workforce has changed. Events, how we operate events, the technologies we use, it's all different. So it's important for us to think about, as we're innovating in other areas, we need to innovate the way we're working with talent as well. So this is why, this is what led us to start a study that we're working on right now, because in order to help the industry be able to successfully work with freelance talent to solve the challenges we talked about, we really need to understand what are the motivations and values of independent talent, and how can we support them in their work to engage them and to retain them as well. So we partnered with Temple University on the first of its kind academic study, and we're looking at the values and motivations of freelancers in meetings and events. So our lead professor is Lindsay Lee, based out of Temple, and we have 3 other PhD professors from other hospitality schools that are working on this study as well. So this is what they're looking at: work characteristics, relational characteristics, and what motivations are of all of the talent that they're speaking to. And the talent that they are speaking to are either freelance talent now or have freelanced at some point in their career and would consider going back to it. And all of these things come into play. And even when at Soundings, when we are looking at matching talent, their motivations of why they freelance is important to us as well, because that also predicts how engaged they might be in the work they're doing or how available they might be on a regular basis. And then we're looking at, on the other side of this, how do organizations adapt to the changing workforce? So coming out of this, these are the areas that we are looking at, and to be able to consult with our customers on. So the research team is working to pull this information and data from from the freelance talent that's taken this survey. This is the research process that we are going through right now. But one of the things I do want to mention is that academia and business rarely work together on research. And it's really unfortunate, because academia wants to do research and needs to do research, and it's really inexpensive in a lot of ways, and everybody wins. Organization gets what they need, and the researchers can publish papers that they need as well. So it's interesting, because what we need are more people that are able to work between researchers and the organizations that can speak both languages. So we're excited for this opportunity as well, to show the industry how we can work together with all the events-based schools or any universities to really dive into our industry. So we started with a pilot study. We had 25 freelancers that did a survey, and then we did and spoke to some of them as well. From there, they looked at all of our survey questions. Were they right? Were they not right? Made alterations to them. We launched the study last month. And what is really interesting about this study is that we are looking at quantitative and qualitative data. in the same study and in the same survey. So they are looking at that in survey form, and then we're also doing roundtables as well, so we can get more information and more, I guess, feeling information and better understand how freelancers are feeling about the work that they're doing. And so the study is going to wrap up on Friday. I'm going to give you the link to it. If you are a freelancer or consultant or have been in the past, I would love for you to take it. And then in the winter of 2024, the study findings will be released, and we're going to use them for presentations to educate the industry, white papers, and research papers. And our goal is really to help the industry learn how to work with freelance talent. So we had 2 supporters for this. Smart Meetings has shared our survey with the industry and has been pushing that out for us. Also, the Four Seasons in Punamita, which is actually really close to where I am, is one of our sponsors too. So if you do fill out the survey, you'll have an opportunity to win 2 nights complimentary at the Four Seasons Punamita. And this is how you can participate. All right.
Tracy, can everybody just put something in a window to just say, Tracy really found the space between a changing workplace and a changing world and sort of carved out this fantastic thing. We can't wait for the end of the movie to find out how the survey works. We're all going to be sitting there. But thank you so very much. I'm going to ask you to relinquish screen control.
Sure.
And I'm going to introduce our next speaker, who I met at IMEX and found him maybe the most interesting IMEX, the Travel and Destination Show, maybe the most novel, interesting thing that I saw there, because Pickles is a way to think collaboratively in a really fun way. And I'm just going to let him, I'm not spoiling the punchline here. I am going to turn it over to Chris Bent. And we're going to play with Pickles and be a little collaborative.
Awesome. Sounds good, Robin. And thank you so much for having me here today. It was blast to meet you at IMEX. Great to finally meet a legend of the events industry. So excited to be here as well. And as Robin mentioned, I'm the founder of Pickles. I did not create the salty snacks that you're much more familiar with. In this case, as you can see, it's spelled Piccles, and it comes from a combination of pictures and pixels. So the whole idea was, how do we be creative without being a creative or an artist or anything like that? And we basically built this platform that made it much more accessible for anyone to express themselves in a more free form and open way. So without further ado, since I'm not much about talking and more about doing, I'm going to share my screen and put on a QR code that if everybody has their phone or iPad, they can scan that, or you can click on the link that I just put into the chat, and that will open up a little page on your computer. And we're just going to respond to 2 different questions that we have that kind of wraps up the year and helps us look towards the new year. So the first question is, what was your best moment of 2023? And again, all you need to do is scan that QR code. Once you do that, you'll see a little white square on your phone, your computer, whatever you're using. And you might be looking at that terrified, thinking, oh my God, what is he asking me to do right now? And fear not, this is anonymous. So you don't have to feel judgment. The point of this really is to just kind of build some creative confidence and explore a new modality of engaging in events and meetings, to tap into this kind of visual nature, which is natural for all of us to express ourselves in. So our best moment of 2023, this is yeah, these are coming in now. As you can see, I did not do a very good job of talking about the controls or all of the different tools you have there, because we tried to keep it super simple. There's a brush size selector you can drag to the left if you want to make it super thin, or you can drag it all the way to the right, make it a little bit thicker if you wanted to add a background. But that is basically it. We can also customize the color palette based on brand colors or how we want people to interact. And yeah, it basically just creates this visual to summarize the group's thoughts, feelings, adventures, ideas, emotions, whatever it may be. And super cool. As we're looking here, the someone had an awesome Japan trip. Very jealous if you got to walk under those banners. So cool. Maine, nice. I am actually based in New Hampshire right now, so not too far from there. It is cold, so hopefully you came in a different time of the year. And man, I might need help in interpreting this one. Robin, is this do you think this is a dog getting eaten?
I don't know. Anybody want to?
What is your guess? What is your guess? I want to hear what you think.
Whoa. Somebody got a new puppy? Or a new lizard?
Someone got a new, yeah. I think this might be like the updated version of it. With
Okay.
oh,
Creating VR virtual pets.
wow, Gigi, that's awesome. So cool. Yeah, so we also got, it seems like the babies, we've gotten some grandchildren, we got our own baby, our grandbaby going out to the beach, smelling that Christmas tree, hanging all of that. But some, yeah, I
I
think this
think
is
my
another
take on
baby.
it is we're clearly better at words than visuals as a
Yeah.
group. But
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, we've got an engagement as well, turning 50. So lots,
wait,
lots
the
to be-
the Azores.
yeah,
Yum.
yeah. So to summarize, it's almost like what makes the best moments. It's those experiences, it's those people. We have Harry, I think.
Oh, it's
Maybe.
supposed to say happy, but
Oh,
a quick
oh, is this
brag.
yours?
No, mine was my well, let me I don't know, mine was the grandbaby. I tried a couple of that.
Oh, wait, if yours was the grandbaby, does that mean that Gigi's was the baby?
No.
No,
Oh, no,
definitely not.
no,
All right.
she's my niece, not my
Okay,
it was one
okay.
of my children. But yeah, it's taken over my brain.
I'm just trying to piece your family.
And that's another baby, right? It's I have baby brain now. I never felt this way about my kids.
That is
And
awesome.
what's somebody's got a money bag down at the bottom there, actually drawn.
Oh, I thought this was a ring. Someone got engaged, but hey, you might be right.
Gigi. That is Gigi Raskin, right?
That was mine. My bad attempt at a ring.
All right. Hey,
Chris got
sometimes
it.
those rings can bring money bags if you're marrying the right one, right?
So Chris, what we want to know is, are we supposed to interpret your shirt also?
Oh yeah, this is so we take all of these drawings and we use it as a way of sparking discussion, conversation, and then we also transform them into all sorts of different things. Like you can see my sweatshirt, we put a bunch on there. We make videos, data visualizations. A lot of times it'll have more than 7 or 8 there. We'll have hundreds of drawings, creating this unique artifact that is actually made by everybody at an event or in a community. So it kind of serves as a cool souvenir, a little stamp in time for everyone who participated and was all there together.
So much fun.
Yeah, this is cool. We're getting new details on this beach scene. Someone had a beautiful destination wedding. Cool. So
I know. Yeah.
Did you want to jump into any more here, Robin, before I go on?
No, everybody ready for number 2?
Cool. So this is looking ahead a little bit. And all you need to do is hit done and draw again. You can hit and scan the QR code again, or just hit draw again, whatever it is. And I'm curious, what is it that your dream for the new year is? When you think about 2024, how do you want to feel? What do you want to have manifested or come about in this new time? I love it. You can use symbols, you can use colors, letters, anything that you want to express yourself. And as Robert mentioned, this isn't about being a fantastic artist. It's really about just expressing yourself. It's a bit more nuanced than text, and sometimes it's easier to draw things than it is to kind of join in a conversation or try and interject or express yourself other ways. So yeah, a lot of people, with the way that our world is going, definitely, well, this person wants a Mercedes-Benz, but I think the other ones want world peace. Or I forget exactly what it is. I always mix those up. But yeah, having peace and harmony with everyone, that is an amazing goal.
Who can draw yin yang? Anybody? I'm sitting. I'm blunt.
Yeah, this is a lot easier than drawing a yin yang.
Yeah.
Drawing a perfect circle and all of those other things, that can be a little bit challenging. But yeah, more clients, getting our client base, our money up. I love this, peace and calm. Man, that almost looks like the Twitter logo, and it gives me some nostalgia for back in last year when we still had Twitter, and it was not a bad platform. I don't know if Elon Musk is on the call or not. I don't want to trash him too much, but awesome. Look at these beautiful scenes. This kind of looks like Vancouver, with the city and the mountains right next to it, escaping into the wilderness. But travel more. Yeah. Where are you guys looking to travel in the new year? If you want to drop that into the chat or let us know.
Yeah, I'm seeing an environmental theme. Like, so you've got the earth and the sun, you've got the river, the road, the camping.
Yeah, we've got our little tent with a nice
That's pretty
roaring
good.
fire. This is a sweet camping trip. So yeah, it seems like the biggest thing on people's mind, though, is that peace, just having kind of restored harmony into our world, because obviously we're all connected now, and when something is happening to someone, it's hard to ignore.
So Chris,
yeah.
Now that you've told us about the program, you've used this in a lot of business settings, right? And just tell us like how that works.
Yeah. So I'm also curious to hear more about this one if someone is trying to break something out of jail or whatnot. But while we're learning about that mystery, yeah, so we started off using Pickles in-person events. This was like a virtual graffiti, or rather graffiti wall, a digital graffiti wall that we did in Montreal. And then the pandemic happened, and so we couldn't do in-person events anymore, but we transitioned online pretty quickly and didn't have to adapt the technology too much. And yeah, since then we've been using it at different conferences as icebreakers, as team building, as ways of letting people engage. This one was actually at IMEX, not this year, but a previous year in the Sustainability Village, where we did a draw a tree, plant a tree activation. So kind of blending the digital and the physical is a recurring theme that we do. And then we take all of the drawings and turn them into data visualizations. If we collect enough, we will make interesting little graphics out of them that can live in Zoom backgrounds or go really anywhere. And another thing that we're kind of tapping into is these emotions, because it can be easier to draw how you feel than it can be to express it verbally or textually in some cases. And so we have seen a lot of interest in just tapping into those unspoken feelings, emotions, thoughts that people are really feeling, just more nuanced, and using that to help people feel a greater sense of belonging, engagement, and feeling seen and heard. And then, yeah, we can take all of the responses, turn them into little videos that can end a meeting, or turn them into sweatshirts to keep you cold on New Hampshire vacation, like I am using right now. But yeah, a lot of stuff that we're doing just to try and help people tap into their creativity, especially those people who don't think of themselves as creative, because I truly believe that everybody is creative. It's just yeah, you might have had a third grade teacher tell you this isn't what a horse looks like, and you took that personally, and then you just stopped there. And so yeah, this is beautiful though. I love all of this. Man, I'd wear that on a t-shirt right there. But so cool getting out in nature, having that peace, that clients, money, happiness, calm.
I think the other interesting thing is that you can use it temporally. So you can listen to an entire presentation and just be drawing through it. You know, you like this made you think of this. Somebody saying it's an orange in jail. We're still trying to guess on that one.
I love it.
We're
Yeah,
still
someone's orange. Oh, is that like Trump going to jail? Is that what that means?
Oh,
All right,
yes.
maybe.
Boy, we just missed
That's the
that.
only orange in jail I can.
I think
Yeah.
we got. I think we got.
Okay, that was perfect.
Yeah. See, this is beautiful, and that's why I think drawings are pretty cool, because they can be metaphorical, they can be open to interpretation, and yeah, when you everybody has a different kind of point of view, so it can really be a jumping off point into a deeper discussion. So cool.
So
The problem is I can only draw straight lines and circles, so I was left with little choice.
right, but we knew who you were immediately.
Yeah.
So you know, everybody, you can take yourselves off mute if you'd like now. And I just I don't know what has happened to my camera. It just seems to be totally gone. But and somebody's really late to this meeting. My OBS buttons have become super confused, so you may never see me again. I may just be disembodied forever. Yeah, my camera. I know what happened. My camera decided to shut off. It must be on. Okay, it'll catch up. Hi. So first of all, Chris, that was amazing. And it just goes to show us all. Somebody called it Mentimeter, but with drawings. Like you can actually gauge the sentiment of an audience. And so that was really good. I want to just switch to, I want to tell you what's coming up. I think I want to tell you what's coming up. Oh yeah, please. I don't know, just raise your hands if you're going to CES. But if you are, we will be there. Our little contribution to CES Humanity is to run high-tech retailing conferences, lifestyle, and fintech conferences. Fintech has turned out to be absolutely fascinating this year. And then you have to mark your calendars for the 18th of January, where we'll be back with 3 great tools. Opus Clip, which will leave you thinking you're a video editing director. It's so good. Augex Lags, which will make your videos out of your words. And Hive Streamings, which helps with corporate video. So video is the theme, and you should definitely join us then. We had one last question for Chris, and that was from Bill, and he wants to know a little bit about your business model, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have like one-off and annual subscriptions. And yeah, you can get started for free. And then if you have like a larger event, then you can subscribe. And then there's all sorts of services that we offer as well, because a lot of people in meetings and events, they don't want to learn another technology. They just want to hire us to run a networking event or a team building session. And so there's all sorts of services that we offer as well. But yeah, be in touch. Happy to talk more, Bill. And yeah, love to continue the conversation with anyone here.
It's so great. So, first of all, happy holidays to everybody. Let's hope next year's a little more peaceful, and although chaos seems to be the reigning idea here, thank you for sticking with us. Enjoy your family, friends, make some time for what's important in your life, and keep on having good meetings. And we will see you in January. Thank you so much, Tracy and Chris. You are both the best.
Thank you, Robin.
Yeah.
Bye.
Great. Thanks so much. Great to meet you all.